Hi, Facebook and YouTube. I am Joshua Shipman, and this is the Moral Reform Chronicles. Today we're reading back and again in the book, Enjoying Intimacy with God, and we are now going to read what it says for what this is going to be about. The heading says, Suffering and a Spiritual Ministry. Jesus was too honest and sincere to conceal from his disciples that often a spiritual ministry is costly. He desired them to follow him, but with eyes wide open. So he challenged them, You do not know what you are asking for. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or to be baptized with the baptism which I am baptized? Mark 10:38. He would have them face up to the fact that while there was glory in following him, it would not be all glory. They must learn that if they were to know him more intimately, it would involve fellowship with him in his sufferings. Their glib answer, "We are able," revealed their tragic lack of self-knowledge and unwarranted self-confidence. James and John coveted positions of influential leadership, but wanted them to come cheaply. Jesus told them that they would indeed drink the cup and experience the baptism. In the end, James was executed and John ended his days in a concentration camp on the island of Patmos. A spiritual ministry is costly, and the path for the master is the path for the servant. The lesson for us is that if it is our inflexible purpose to spurn mediocrity and win through to an effective ministry, there will be a steep price to pay, but it will prove gloriously worthwhile. Before he was qualified to lead God's people out of Egyptian bondage, Moses had to undertake postgraduate training. For 40 years he enjoyed luxurious living in a palace and education in Egypt's famous university. He was educated in all the learning of the Egyptians, and he was a man of power in words and deeds. Acts 7:22. There his intellect was sharpened and his social life polished, fitting him for ministry to the upper classes. But God's plan for him was the leadership of a nation of slaves. For that, further preparation was needed. The time in the bleak, barren desert. In that university, his spirit was tempered. In the unhurried solitude of his enforced isolation, he had abundant time to cultivate intimacy with God. Up until his desert experience, Moses had been an activist. Now he had to master a lesson very difficult to an activist, that being is more important than doing. Paul had a somewhat similar experience. He pursued his academic studies under the tutelage of the famous Jewish rabbi Gamaliel, gaining his PhD, Doctor of Phariseeism. Someone has fatuously suggested. But though he had received superb academic training, he had to retreat into solitude, where his fiery serpent could be tempered, and he could undergo necessary theological orientation. I did not immediately consult with flesh and blood, he claimed, nor did I go up to Jerusalem to those who were apostles before me, but I went away into Arabia and returned once more to Damascus. Then 3 years later I went up to Jerusalem. Galatians 1:18. 3 years alone with God in unbroken intimacy. What a preparation for spiritual ministry. One important lesson to be learned from the experience of those men is that in training a man for ministry, God does not shorten the training days, as we so often wish to do. For both Moses and Paul, a prolonged period of solitude was an important ingredient in their preparation and a necessary part of the maturing process. Spiritual leadership does not always develop best in the limelight. There must be time for our future leaders' secret transactions with God and for getting to know Him more intimately than do those He is being trained to lead, because God is seeking quality in our lives. Time is no object to Him. That is all for today's reading. I don't know about you, but I did get stuff out of that, and I hope you did as well. And I hope that it is something that has something that has made you think about some things, even challenge you in some thoughts, on whether God has done stuff in your life to make a person a leader out of you, and is He doing it as we speak? I could say personally, I feel that God's doing that in my life at this very point. Do I enjoy every bit of it? Not necessarily. I won't deny that. But I do like how God is making me a better person through it, and He's helping me to grow as a person. And the thing I want to relate to you is remember that in order to be a leader, it does not mean that the road is going to be easy. It's going to be hard, and you will, other than God, you will be by yourself, because that's how He wants to do all that with you. So He wants you to know He wants to be number one. He wants a deep relationship with you because you are His child. So remember this as long as you can, and remember that if you are to be the leader and the person He needs, that training, as this book has made it clear, is going to involve Him wanting to be closer to you than you've ever experienced before. So, God bless each of you. If you like the content that you receive from this channel, please press that like button and subscribe to this channel, so that way YouTube can get it out there and let others see it over time as this channel grows, so that way people can be encouraged. And please share this content so that, again, people can be encouraged and possibly come to know more about Jesus. God bless each of you. Have a great day.